Hey Frag fam, what is going on? I hope you guys are all doing well today. Elliot here, and welcome back to the Fragrance Wheel. It is first impression day, first impressions for a very much anticipated release from the House of Creed. You guessed it, it is Oud Zarian. I've got my little sample bag here. I did reach out to my Creed representative at my local Bloomingdale's and, just asked, hey, are you working that day? Because if she's not there, I don't really like to show up. But anyway, she said, yeah, I got a, sample pack for you on the day I asked about, and she had it ready to go for me. She even gave me kind of the whole breakdown of, the nature of the release, the whole pomp and circumstance behind it, some of the stuff about the fragrance, all that yada, yada, yada. We'll kind of get into that in the video. So that is going to be the video. I am going to do my first impressions. I have not smelled it at all. I didn't smell it at the store. I just got my sample and just let her kind of tell me more about the fragrance. But yeah, I will spray it on skin. I will let it sit on my skin for a while before I kind of give my full thoughts on it, but I will give my first reaction to it. And then I'll just kind of talk about the fragrance release in general, because I think it's an interesting thing to talk about with this fragrance in particular. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. But before we do, as always, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you do like the content, and please hit that bell icon, enable notifications so you can be notified when I upload new videos. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so let's get right to it. I already got the fragrance out because, it's just, packaged like a simple sample. It is an official Creed sample bottle, so I do like that because, sometimes you got to get the stuff kind of just sprayed in there, or at least that's what it looks like. Anyway, let's go right into it. I'm just going to spray a couple sprays on my hand. I imagine I probably don't need too many sprays. And it's already slapping me in the face. I'm not even smelling it up close right now. I can tell you right now, this smells really, really good. I can't even deny it. Like I said, I'm just getting wafts of it right now. I would be willing to bet this fragrance is probably going to be a good performer. Obviously, I don't know that for sure. I'm just now smelling it. Many people think that about a lot of fragrances, and then, it subsides faster than they want it to. I'm not going to say it sucks. Okay. All right, I feel pretty confident in saying this. There's definitely real oud in this, which is a big part of the marketing scheme for the scent and probably a big part of the cost of it, which again, we're going to go into the release as a whole, something I don't often do. But what do we smell, first of all? Again, I'm definitely getting essence of real oud here. I've smelled some fragrances that I do believe have real oud in them, and there's definitely a difference between the oud accords, the really high quality oud, maybe even the farmed oud, and the oud from nature. I feel like this is oud from nature. Also get a little bit of spice from this. I'm wondering, is it like saffron rose oud? There's definitely some rose in this as well. That's honestly not a surprise. I had a feeling like if they're gonna release like a big oud release, which I don't believe Creed has ever really done, they're probably gonna at least follow the rose oud path, if you will. But I will say this much: I personally haven't smelled an oud rose fragrance like this with some spicy elements. I'm getting some resins in there as well, so there's probably some ambery accords or notes in here too. It is warm, but you know what? Interestingly enough, at least right now, you know how Creed fragrances have this kind of unique fresh profile. That's kind of what they're known for, more so, is their fresher fragrances. It almost feels like they even captured that in this, even though this is definitely a woody, somewhat sweet, ambery, rich fragrance with some spice. Look, there's no denying that this scent smells phenomenal. I can't deny it. They did a good job with the fragrance. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let this sit on my hand for at least a little while. But while I do that, I'm just going to talk about the overall fragrance release. So one of the special things, if you're not familiar with this scent, is the fact that it is using 80-year aged oud. That alone, is going to be something that, if true, which to be fair, I think it is true, is going to jack the price way up. As far as I know, this is wild oud. In other words, it was not on a farm where they, if you don't know the process of oud, it's the agarwood tree, which in its normal form has no value whatsoever. But when the tree gets damaged, usually in nature, which is the best, it actually produces a resin or a sap to kind of protect and heal itself. It's a very interesting process. Look up the process. I might not even be saying that 100% correct, but that's the essence of it. In nature, this is the most valued oud. This is the stuff that, and frankly, people get killed over. But it's obviously a very rare commodity that's been farmed to death, so it's rare. There's not a lot of it. There's no way we can source the entire fragrance world or just the oud market in general, because it's not just fragrances. Depending on wild oud, there's just not enough of it. It's overfarmed. There's poaching going on, all of that, right? So the farmed oud is where they actually grow the trees themselves and damage the trees themselves with a drill, and then let it kind of produce the oud, the agar wood that way. But everybody pretty much agrees that's not as good as wild oud for obvious reasons, because we're kind of manipulating the process. But anyway, this is claiming to use 80-year aged oud, so that kind of speaks to the price point. And also, the representative from Bloomingdale's was telling me that if you buy the fragrance, you actually get like this. First of all, it's really nicely packaged. I probably already showed the picture. If not, but you'll see it in the B-roll. I did take a picture of the full presentation. It's got a nice wood case. You get like this certificate of authenticity of the oud and all of that. So, you can't do those kind of things and you don't have real oud in there. That's why I do believe that there's definitely real oud in this. 80-year aged oud is wild. I mean, I didn't even know there was a thing of oud being aged that long and then used in perfumery process. I would figure that stuff would be reserved for people who just got a lot of money and want to basically have the rarest oud on the planet and are willing to spend thousands of dollars to get it. I haven't stopped smelling the fragrance since I've sprayed it. I mean, I'm not even holding my hand up to my nose and it's just filling this space, and I'm just being real. It smells really good. But I said I was going to try to let it settle, but I don't think I'm going to get the chance. It's pushing off the skin so much I won't need to let it settle. But anyway, let's talk about the price point. Now, obviously, Creed's fragrances are wildly priced, where everybody knows this. It's one of the things that I think kind of draws a lot of the hate versus the love that it used to get. 100 ml bottle is $630. That is up there. The 50 ml is $470. And I'm looking at the Creed website, so that's the suggested retail price. I believe I've already seen this fragrance on discounter, so yes, you can get it less than that, but you're still going to drop some cash for it. And I'm pretty sure if you buy it from a discounter, you're not going to get like the whole presentation. So if that's something you care about, you're going to have to buy it full retail. But I imagine most of my viewers, it's not really a concern for them. But yeah, that price is wild. However, if it's using 80-year-old aged oud, which again, I'm smelling this. This is giving me an oud I have not experienced. I'm not saying there's not other fragrances out there that can give you oud as good or better than this, and it probably not cost as much. Maybe, I don't know. It may cost more. But this one here is giving me an experience that I cannot deny. I'm liking. That's all I'm going to say for now. Yeah, that kind of speaks to the price. I don't know what it is on discounters. I know I've seen it, but I don't know what the exact price. But again, I've just kind of given you the whole breakdown of the overall nature of the release. Therefore, it is up to you to decide if that is worth it or not. How much do you care about 80-year-old aged oud? How much do you care about like wild smelling oud? I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's something everybody cares about. So I completely understand if people see this and like, yeah, it's good, but I don't really care about oud fragrances like that. I don't really care to have like this 80-year-old aged oud fragrance, especially for that price point. I get it. And, this fragrance is going to be out of a lot of people's price point. Trust me, I wouldn't just jump on this. You see, I don't have a bottle of it. I got a sample of it. I'm not at that point where I can just buy up a fragrance and then do a review for it. The return on the investment is not good enough at this time. And even if it was, that's not necessarily something I want to do, at least not right now. But anyway, let's just return to the fragrance because, again, I have not stopped smelling it. I thought I would just kind of hold my hand down here and, it would just kind of sit there. Dude, literally all I can smell is this scent. And all I can tell you is it's good. It is changing a little bit. I feel like I'm getting a little bit more of the spice that's in here. I don't know exactly what the spice is. There could be saffron, but I'm not really getting that saffron vibe. But if you use saffron at lower levels and blend it with other spices, it can have an interesting effect. Maybe there's some, I don't know, cinnamon-like kind of spice in this. I don't think I'm smelling cinnamon outright. Could even maybe be some cardamom or something of that nature. But it's a very nice spice profile. It almost has a little bit of an incensey vibe too. I wouldn't say it's necessarily smoky outright, but it's giving me like a frankincense vibe. I don't know if there's any in here, but I gotta say this scent smells phenomenal. And you know what, to be honest, I'm kind of thinking about how I'm getting a little bit of that freshness I talked about. And again, I'm not saying it's fresh. I'm just saying I'm getting that character, which is something I attribute to Creed fragrances. I would wear this in warmer weather. Maybe not right now in the middle of summer, but I'd wear this outside in warmer weather. It's a rich, woody, ambery fragrance, but it's not like thick or dense or like syrupy. It's not that type of scent. It has a little bit of a tameness to it while still being a fragrance that's pushing. Again, that is 2 sprays from the sample bottle. And I imagine this whole room smells like this fragrance right now. So I do feel like the performance on this, which I know is something a lot of people care about, particularly when it comes to these Creed fragrances, I feel like the performance on this is going to be maybe nuclear. Now, again, it's too early to tell. I'm just saying. I will say this much, though, take it for what you will, because I took it with a grain of salt as I was talking to the Creed representative, as well as some of the other associates at the Bloomingdale's that I know. They were all telling me, like, man, this stuff here lasts. It lasts a long time. And what's interesting is the Creed representative, she is not an oud person. She does not care for oud fragrances at all. But, she's a professional, so she's tested the scent. And, she can describe it to people. So, that's, and she was saying, like, man, that stuff does not come off. So take that for what you will. But I'm just saying, it's 2 sprays from the sample bottle. For it to be slapping me in the face like that, that's saying something. Since we're doing first impressions, I was going to look up the notes, but I don't see it on the Creed. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. We got some notes here. All right. Okay, so head notes. Bergamot, frankincense, ginger, spice accord. Heart notes, rose centifolia, and the base notes, they're telling you again, 80-year-old aged oud, patchouli, sandalwood, and myrrh. So I mentioned that I was getting kind of a frankincense thing there. So that makes sense. They just call it a spice accord, so who knows what's in it? You just kind of have to go with what your nose is picking up. Okay, the bergamot and the ginger makes a lot of sense because I was saying I was getting a little bit of a freshness from the scent. The combination of bergamot and ginger can definitely give you that. I don't know if I smell ginger outright. I just think it's adding like this textural thing where you are getting a kind of a sparkly, fresh pop from the scent. Rose centifolia, I'm sorry, I'm not a rose expert. I just know there's different forms of rose. This just seems like kind of one of those all-encompassing rose notes where you're getting a splash of like the fruitiness you can get from a rose, a splash of the jamminess, but also the floral petal essence, even the watery essence sometimes, and even a little bit of that green. It seems like, I don't know if for sure, I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like rose centifolia is giving me kind of that all-encompassing rose where you kind of get a good blend of all of the facets you can get from rose without it being too far in one direction or the other. The patchouli, sandalwood, myrrh, like I said, it's woody, it's ambery, it's warm. All of that kind of makes sense for the base notes. And of course, the entire driving force, the entire marketing force for this fragrance is the 80-year-old aged oud. So obviously that's in here. Man, I got a decision to make because I'm in the market for adding, another scent or two or whatever I do to my collection right now. I just haven't sat down and tried to figure out what I want. I'm gonna be honest though, I might need to pick this up. And I'll say it this way. The only reason I'm saying I'm considering going ahead and getting this, even at the higher discounted price that it is because, again, I right now don't have a fragrance that can give me this. Now, if anybody's tested this and, can say like, hey man, this is good, but you could get something of that quality or maybe even better from this brand at this price, let me know down in the comments below, because I'd be open to looking into it. Because again, just because this fragrance is giving you this, that doesn't mean it's not already out there. It could be out there for a better value, but I just have to be honest. This is blowing my mind. I'm impressed. This is really, really good. And again, it's because I don't have anything that quite does it like this in my cabinet. And I've got some pretty decent oud fragrances. So this is awesome. All right. I think that kind of sums it up. So again, the scent is amazing. Anybody who's a lover of fragrances, and particularly if you like oud scents, and the other thing is this doesn't have any of that fecal kind of style of oud. It's just not that type of oud. I don't know where they're sourcing this oud from. It probably comes in a little package that you buy. It'll probably give you all the information of where they got it from. But I'm telling you, this right here is it's amazing. It is blowing my mind. I am thoroughly impressed here. So the scent is good. The price tag, yeah, it's up there. You're just gonna have to figure that out if it's worth it for you. Maybe get a partial of it or something. Maybe that'll be a better option. I'm sure there's plenty of people who are already starting to decant this out. So yeah, now I'm definitely not buying it at full retail. I can say that much. I don't have to have all that presentation stuff. You can tell by the way I got my fragrances organized. I'm not a big presentation guy. The boxes over here that I've kept, they're just the niche boxes. I only just kind of keep most of the niche boxes, and that's the ones that are nice. If they're just kind of basic, like these Creed boxes tend to be, I don't keep those. What's the point? Anyway, yeah, if you see me talking about this in a video in the future, you'll know what decision I ended up making. But this right here, I mean, scent-wise, just right now, first impression, this is like a 10 out of 10 to me. I mean, it's great. It is so freaking good. So let me know if you've gotten your nose on this, what you think about it. I know some other people have done their reviews on it as well. But if you're able to get your nose on it, I definitely suggest you do so. Again, not saying you got to buy it, but it's at least worth getting your nose on, in my opinion. So thanks again for watching all the way into the end. I really do appreciate you guys. Please remember to be well and smell well, and I will see you in the next episode of The Fragrance Well. Have a good one.